We came to see Mel.
I am going to go over the rules of the fitness challenge. So you are here for the New Year, New You Fitness Challenge kickoff seminar. Is everyone in the right spot? I like to get that out of the way first to make sure we're all on the same page. I recognize a lot of new faces in here for our fitness challenge, which is very exciting. So welcome if this is your first fitness challenge. Welcome back if you have been here for fitness challenges previously. We always love to have you back for that. The fitness challenge is 6 weeks starting on Monday. So your goal for the fitness challenge is to get 2.5 hours of exercise each week of the fitness challenge, okay? So you can do that a couple of different ways. You can do whatever exercise you want. So if you only like to be in the pool, you can do your pool exercise, pool classes, pool walking, whatever you want to do, and write it down on the sheet that will be in the binder, okay? If you do a combination of exercises, you do some strength training, you do some walking, you walk outside, you walk your dogs in the afternoon, all of that counts towards your 2.5 hours. But you just want to make sure that you track your exercise. We also have an online tracking form that we will send out every Monday morning, okay? If for some reason you are out of town or you just want to track your exercise, there as well, you can do that, but you need to pick one or the other, okay? If you're out of town and you want to send it in 1 week online, that's fine, but you just don't want to double up on them. Does that make sense? Okay. But this binder will be out, your sheet in the binder will be out in the lobby for the whole 6 weeks starting on Monday. If you have already signed up at the fitness counter downstairs, the service desk, you will have a sheet in the binder starting Monday morning. If you still need to sign up, you can sign up all next week. So if you have some friends or spouse or somebody who's kind of on the fence about signing up, they have until next Friday to make that decision. Okay. All right, so this will be in the binder out there. We have weekly prize drawing each week. So each time you come into Milestone to exercise, you're going to put your name on a snowflake and put it in the vase out at the table. Okay. Your exercise outside of Milestone counts towards your weekly total, but only when you come to Milestone to exercise do you get entered into the weekly drawing. Okay. So that's the difference with that. So weigh-ins. So starting Monday morning, we open at 5:20 a.m. You can start weighing in. You can weigh in any day next week, Monday through Friday, for your initial weigh-in. So don't feel like you have to be here Monday. I know it's a holiday, so don't feel like you have to be here right, first thing Monday morning. So anytime Monday through Friday next week, come in for your initial weigh-in, and then the final week of the fitness challenge for that final weigh-out. Our midpoint weigh-in is Monday, February 5th for that midpoint weigh-in. It's optional. It'll be set up out in the lobby. You do get some bonus points for weighing in, so you get 30 bonus minutes for weighing in that day if you wanted to do that. Okay, there are 3 grand prize drawings. So one of them is grand prize out of total exercise accumulated. So for every 3 hours of exercise, you get 1 raffle ticket. You don't have to do anything with that. Just write down your tickets. I'll do all of the raffle ticketing, calculations and things. So don't get hung up on that. But your main goal is to get that 2.5 hours of exercise each week of the fitness challenge. Okay. So the other 2 grand prizes, we will have one for weight loss, one for male weight loss and body fat percentage loss, and one for female weight loss, body fat percentage loss. Okay. Okay, the other thing that we are doing, I have a flyer somewhere. Okay, there is a mindfulness seminar that is starting in February, but she has a kind of like a kickoff informational session tomorrow. Okay,
Monday.
you'll get
Monday.
Is it Monday? Yeah, okay, Monday. Okay. So there is a mindfulness meditation seminar. If you attend the info session, you will get double points, double minutes for that. So it should be an hour. Okay, so it's Monday from 11:30 to 12:30. If you can make it to that, you'll get double time points for that. So you'll get 120 minutes versus just the 60 minutes for that. Okay. If you sign up for that program starting in February, you'll get double minutes every time you go to that. So I have some flyers over there. If anyone was here for our September kickoff seminar, we talked about brain health and how sometimes once you get your mind right, that kind of helps put the rest of things into motion that we need to do. So this is a good way to work on that brain health. Okay. Let's see, what else do I have for you? I think that covers it. So the 2.5 hours of exercise that are in your shirts, and we'll order those at the end of the program once we make sure everyone has met their time requirements, okay? Oh yes, one more thing. Each week we have a different bonus activity. So first week starting out, it's individual cardio. So that is any cardio that you do by yourself, whether it's on an elliptical, whether it's walking in the neighborhood. Any cardio that you do by yourself, you'll get one extra bonus ticket for the grand prize drawing for doing that. You can get up to 5 bonus tickets every time that you do a bonus activity. So individual cardio. The next week is group exercise class, whether it's in the land or on the water, any group exercise class. Then we have personal training sessions. So if you need to get set up with a personal trainer or you need a fitness coaching session so that you know what to do over the course of these next 6 weeks, make sure to send me an email, or you can write a note next to your name on the sheet that I'm going to pass around to make sure you get your bonus points. And then we go back to individual strength training, cardio, and then group exercise classes again. So that'll be posted each week in the lobby as well. Okay. You also get bonus points for coming today. So I'm going to send around our attendance sheet. Make sure your name's on there so you'll get your bonus credit for being here, okay? I'll start it up here and just make it through the classroom. Yes, any questions?
Can you review again about just how you're going to do an online versus signing in? You can only do one or
Just
the
do
other?
one. Do one or the other. Just pick one or the other. If you're going to be out of town one week and you want to do it online, just, let me know.
Okay.
You can send me an email. So my email is on the flyer, and so you can send me that email. But as a general rule of thumb, just either tracking it in the book, in the binder, in the lobby, or on the Google form that we're emailing out every Monday. Any other questions? Yes.
Are you tracking all this manually for the points, or are you keying it in now?
Me?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yes, that's what it is. I'm real bad at it. I've done it for 14 years. It really is. Yes.
So for the individual bonus things?
Yes.
If we just put it in the book that we've done that?
Yes, because I'll
find
find
it.
it. Yeah, I'll find it. Some people, if you want to put an asterisk by it, that is helpful. So, yes, right. Yes.
Where's the way-in?
It'll all be out in the lobby. Yep, there's a table out there right now in the lobby, so it'll all be set up right there. Yep, and you can always ask the front desk too. They can kind of direct you to where you're going. What other questions do you have? Man, I did a really good job. Yes, oh, another question.
Is there a requirement to get it done every week?
So there is it averages. We'll average out to 2.5 weeks. So if 1 week you come down with whatever I have going on in my sinuses, and you need to do a little bit lighter exercise that week, you can make up for it the next week. Okay, so it's going to average out to 2.5 hours a week. I realize it is cold and flu season. If you come down with a horrendous form of the flu and you cannot exercise, send me an email so I know what's going on and I know that you didn't just quit the challenge. I understand that things come up, okay? So just let me know, as long as you let me know, or leave a sticky note on your binder whenever you come back in or whatever. Yes?
You can tell this is my first challenge.
Yeah.
So let's say I take a group exercise class for 45 minutes. You always put 45 down?
Yes.
And then say I walk for 15 around on those tracks.
So you want those on separate lines. That's actually a good question. I should have covered that. Okay, so on your sheet, you're going to put the date, what activity you did, and then how many minutes you did that activity. Okay? So let's say you did a water aerobics class for 45 minutes, and then you walked for 15 minutes after that. You'll put those on separate lines.
I've learned that hot tub time doesn't count.
Hot tub while you're in there.
Make everybody else mad.
We'll try questions after Brandon. Did you have a question? Did you raise your hand? Oh, okay. If you think about it as Brandon is talking, you have questions, let me know. I'll stick around after the seminar. If you also feel like you need a fitness coaching session, those are included with your membership at Milestones, just to kind of help you get pointed in the right direction with where to go. Just indicate that on that sheet that's being passed around so that I can contact you about things like that. Okay? All right. I'm going to hand it over to Brandon before I completely lose my voice. And if you've heard Brandon speak before, you know you're in for a real treat. So
Don't boost me up like that. Don't do that.
I'm going to let him take it from here, but I'll stick around afterwards if you have questions. I'm going to let you introduce yourself because my voice is fun. Okay. Thank you for coming this morning. Thank you.
All right, that's enough. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. Let's put this up here. I don't really like this, but we're going to make it work anyway, right? Yeah, we're going to make it work. So as Mel said, my name is Brandon Howard. I have been here at Milestone for, this is my 13th year. Wow. 13 in August or September. Be 13 years. Wow. Been here quite a while. I have, do I have to tell my certifications?
Yes. All of them.
All right. So I started, my first certification was called a Lifestyle and Weight Management Certification through the American Council on Exercise. They had rebranded it some years later. It is now just strictly health coaching. So that's what I do. My specialty, so to speak, is to help people change their behaviors. So to not make it as hard for you as possible, to kind of make it so you change your behaviors without even thinking that you're changing your behaviors. So every couple of years, to keep my certification active, you can do either continuing education, and that's for most trainers. It's either every year, 2 years, or 3 years, we have to get continuing education to keep that certification up. It's funny, the cost of getting a new certification and the cost of doing CEUs is about the same. So I just get a new certification. So again, I've been here for 13 years. So do the math. Do the math. So after that, I got my orthopedic certification. So knees, backs. I have a lot of clients that have like fusion, neck stuff, hip stuff, knee stuff, all stuff. Then there's the therapeutic exercise specialist, so that's more for like high cholesterol, blood work, things along those lines. Have a fitness nutrition specialist, dietitian is up here. I am not there. All right, I am not. I am under that. I am under that dietitian. The difference in a dietitian and myself, dietitians can prescribe meal plans based on your diagnosis. So if an individual has a cancer diagnosis, I'm not going to touch that because you're not going to sue me. All right? So I'm going to refer you to a dietitian. But for someone who's like, hey, what are some of the things that I should be eating? What's going on? I got this diet thing that I'm doing right now. Can you help me tweak that, this, that, and the other? Got you. I can do those things. What else? Then just last year I got a women's fitness specialist, specializing and kind of focusing on women that are in menopause, perimenopause, postmenopause, that type of thing as well. Because again, every 2 years, why not, right? And so yeah. That's what I do here. So if you've been here any length of time, I work a lot. Some people, my wife included, does not like that. My kids don't like it, but I'm here a lot. So if you see me around, if you do see me around, you're more than welcome to ask me questions. You're more than welcome to ask for tips. Y'all need a seat? We got some extra seats. I know we got some extra chairs over here, so let me know if you need an extra seat. So I'm here a lot. I'm always trying to continually learn because I don't know everything, and the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. So I'm always trying to learn, and interacting with a lot of different members has kind of expanded my knowledge profile just a little bit. So any questions on that? I hate talking about certification because it sounds like I'm bragging and I'm not. But y'all asked, so I had to tell you. So let's get into this. It is 10:20. I'm going to try to get you all out of here right at 11 o'clock. Can we do that? Yep. Can we do that? All right. So January, it is my favorite time of the year and also my least favorite time of the year. I dread it some years. Actually, I dread it every year. I dread it. I'm going to tell you, I love it because so many people like yourselves are in here trying to get healthy, right? And I have no problems with people who have a New Year resolution to get healthy. Some people you've seen maybe the memes on social media. Oh my gosh, here we go with those New Year resolution people. They're going to take up all my machines. Well, you were that New Year resolution person many years ago. So I love when more and more people come out to get healthier. Absolutely love it. Whether they're training with me, whether they're just in the gym, walking more, I love it. But I dread it because of how people use this time to take advantage of others. And you probably saw an increase of ads starting around Thanksgiving. Try this diet. Try this program. Try to do this. Try to do that. All just money-sucking things to get you to part ways with it. Some things that work, some things that don't work, things that I'm just like, oh, wow, I wish I didn't have morals and I would come up with that as well. But it's that time of the year where there's so many things that go on. Try this for $199. Try this for $599. Do this 8-week thing for $1,000. And because we live in a culture that we are, we fall for it hook, line, and sinker every single time, only to repeat this process next year. So, how many diets do you think the average person does in their lifetime?
140.
You said what, 40? 40? So, there was a British poll of about 2,000 people done in 2020. And I'm not need to go into how they did it, but they estimate that the average person does 126 diets over their lifetime. And at first that number sounds crazy, but then think about it for 2 seconds and you're like, wait a minute, I did do that 3-day water fast. Oh, well, I did do that low carb thing for like 4 weeks and I keep doing that. Well, I did do that cabbage soup diet. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that carnivore diet for a couple days. Yeah, I went through a total fast. I do the 5-2. I eat for 5 days and I fast for 2 days. You see what I'm saying? All these things in the average diet we're starting to learn is people do them for about a week and a half on average, because we're grown adults and you can't tell me what I can't eat. Right? That's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. We're grown adults. So some diet telling me that no, you can't eat donuts. I love donuts. I love donuts. Jeff's Donuts, Krispy Kreme donuts. If it's a donut, I love it. And if there was a diet that said, Brandon, you can't eat donuts, I'm going to say I'm a grown-ass man. I'm going to eat whatever donut I want to eat. All right? And I'm not going to do that. But over the time, think about our ages. Think about how long we have been in diet culture. Think about how long we have been dieting. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and some folks 70 years of doing diets consistently. Wouldn't it make sense that over this time, our bodies just sometimes don't respond the way they should? Wouldn't it make sense that every time that you starve your body of the nutrients that it needs, 10, 15 years, one day it wakes up and says, you treated me too long. I'm going to stop doing this thing that you think I should be doing. Wouldn't that make sense? I personally do not like diets. I understand there are two different definitions for diets. For one, a diet is a way that somebody eats, right? So different cultures have different diets. We have to, right? But there's also the diet of, well, I'm going to do this for a set amount of time. And that's the one that we're focusing on. That diet is a temporary solution for a permanent problem. You're doing something for 6 weeks. I'm glad that you're doing a 6-week diet challenge. I'm happy to hear that. For some people, that can light a fire up under your butt and get you moving. But what do you do after those 6 weeks? Do you go back to what you were doing before? Most times, that's the answer. And then you throw yourself a pity party. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I guess I need to go back to that diet. Come on, I've been here for 13 years, folks. I've inherited, seen it all. And you get upset with yourself and you do this diet over and over and over and over and over again. Always losing, always gaining, always losing, always gaining. And the cycle goes on and on for decades. That's why I dread this time of the year. To see people's hopes get up so high, only by March or April, you fall flat on your face. We don't want that, do we? We don't like that. Then on top of that, the marketing people have decided that the things that athletes need, we need. You're not supposed to be drinking Gatorade. Nobody in here needs Gatorade unless you have an issue or you're a sweater. The only time I tell my clients to drink Gatorade or Powerade is if they have low electrolytes, because that's something that their blood work states, or if they sweat a lot during the summertime. Outside of that, you don't need Powerade. Powerade and Gatorade were designed for athletes that were doing high-intensity work for 90 minutes and above. Trust me, I mean this with no disrespect. I've seen some of your workouts in the gym. You don't need it. You don't drink all that power and no water? Come on now, folks. So we have that. I have clients that ask me about, you've seen those leg boots things that kind of swell up to kind of help with circulation after cardio. We see what the runners wear. I got clients asking me about those $1,000 things. They make some letter true, but I'm like, if you just ice your knee, please. But we get so focused on the cryotherapy, the massage guns. Yes, we offer massage guns, and they feel amazing after a workout. Trust me, there's not nothing wrong with it. But we're focusing on the massage guns, the cryotherapy, the cupping, the KT tape, all the this and that and the other. We're like, well, I don't want to do all of this. This is going to make me right. Ignoring the basics. The basics aren't sexy. The basics won't get you 1,000 likes on social media. The basics aren't going to start up a conversation with your friends about, hey, man, you're looking great. What are you doing? Well, I'm just eating right. It doesn't sound as good as that, man, I'm doing this crazy new diet where I'm doing this and I'm doing that, I'm doing this. It doesn't sound as good. It doesn't sound as interesting. So we ignore the basics to go for the flashy things. And only the basics are going to keep you going. That's why I've entitled today's thing is the pyramid of success. Because we're going to talk about the basics. I'm sorry if you came in here thinking that I had some secret recipe, if I had some special exercise program. I don't. What I do is not glamorous. But it's not. Saving money is not glamorous, is it? I'm sorry, it's not. We are instant gratification people. Saving money is not glamorous. But for me, I'm 38. I don't plan on working my entire life. So when I say no to buying a certain thing, it sucks. When I want to buy an XYZ thing and I say, nah. But you know what is glamorous? At 70, being able to travel with my wife. So I'm willing to do certain things now so that later on down the road, I'm good. It's the same concept with health. What you're doing right now, building brick by brick, It's not sexy, it's not glamorous, but the next thing you know, you've built a mansion. Does that make sense? So we're going to get into it. I got y'all for about 30, 40 minutes. The first thing we're going to talk about at the very base of our pyramid, I hope these papers say. The base is nutrition. I don't care how hard you exercise. I don't care how long you exercise. You cannot out-train a poor diet. You can't. I'm going to say that one more time because I hear it all the time in the gym. I'm just going to work it off. No, you're not. No, you're not. You don't have the time. You don't have the time. You don't have the joint strength. You don't have the energy. You will not work it off. I have a Facebook page, Howard Power Fitness. You are more than welcome to follow that if you'd like. But on there, one time I posted one of my workouts. I have a heart rate monitor that I use. It's called MyZone. And I had a really grueling workout. I kicked my butt for about an hour and 15 minutes. I burned about 1,200 calories. Woo! Wow. When I go, I'm 220 pounds. So, you know, I move a little bit. This big guy can move. So, 1,200 calories. 1,200. That sounds like, oh my gosh, that's a whole lot. That's 6 donuts. Hour and 5 to an hour and 10 minutes to burn that 1,200 calories. I guarantee you, I would eat them 6 donuts. I guarantee we cannot out-train a bad diet. The average entree at a restaurant is 1,000 calories and 1,200 milligrams of sodium. You're not outworking that. You don't have the time to. You don't have the heart to be honest with you. Nobody wants to come in here and work out that hard to burn off 1,000 calories. That's a lot. We have to be mindful of what we are putting inside of our body. You don't just put anything inside of our bodies. You don't just put anything inside of your car, do you? If you do, you need to change that mindset. You ain't going to have that car for too long. Now, the car analogy is not perfect. It's not. But if you've heard me speak any length of time, you know that I like to call myself a Benz AMG. I love the AMG. I love it. I love the design. I love the sport performance. I love that. You don't just use regular synthetic oil with that. There's a special 229.5 oil that you use for that vehicle. It's $100 for 6 quarts. That's on Amazon. That's not even at the Benz dealership, so you know what they charging. Right? It's $100 for 6 quarts. You can get 6 quarts of regular synthetic oil for $20 to $30. We are high-performance bodies. You don't just put anything in this body and expect it to do what you want it to do. See, that's our problem. Be honest with ourselves. You want to be able to put French fries and donuts and burgers in here and then go out and do the Triple Crown. It doesn't work that way. We are high-performance bodies that require high-performance oil, that require high-performance tires. High-performance tires for Benz usually run between $500 and $1,500, a little over $500 to up to $1,500 a tire. So what you put on your body and inside of your body, that counts. Does that make sense? I don't have a lot of fitness diet rules. I don't. Because for me, if I give people like, well, these are the 20 things you need to do to be healthy, you're only going to listen to 3 of them. We have short attention spans. So I narrowed it down to a couple. 1, in no order. Eat 100 grams of protein per day. Minimum. I see people's eyes out. Excuse me? Go ahead.
What do you suggest for a vegan?
As far as what?
Protein source.
Protein sources. There are vegan or vegetarian protein powders that are really good. Lentils, your tofu, tempeh, things along those lines. Chickpeas, garbanzo beans, all those things go into that equation. So y'all know I have no beef with vegans, vegetarians. No problem at all with that. Whether you're doing it for an ethical reason, whether you're doing it for a health reason, or whatever. But what some of the literature does suggest is that if you're a vegan or vegetarian, your protein needs need to come up a little bit higher. Why would that be the case?
The different sources of protein.
Different sources of protein, but also when it comes to plant-based sources, some of the protein is locked up in the fibrous parts of it. It takes a while for the body to break that down. Versus for meat options, whether it's whey protein, beef, chicken, this, that, and the other, we don't have to fight as hard to get that. So for some vegetarians and vegans, their protein needs may need to go up just a little bit more to kind of be on the same wavelength. But all the traditional vegetarian and vegan sources are great. You just need to eat more of them. But one thing that helped, my wife she uses a brand called Orgain. That's pretty solid. She likes that. I don't like the aftertaste, which is why it's hers and not mine. But she likes it. It's about 21 grams of protein per serving for hers. And most protein powders are between 20 and 30 grams right there. So if we're looking at 100 grams minimum per day, you start breaking it down per meal and per feeding, it's a fairly achievable number, isn't it? Fairly achievable number. Any other questions when it comes to that? None? Okay. So, 100 grams of protein a day. Eat fruits and vegetables every single meal. Why? Can we talk about vitamins and minerals, folks? We've been telling y'all an apple a day keeps the doctor away for years. Y'all don't go solid on when we talk about fruits and vegetables? So, fruits and vegetables. Vitamins, minerals, fiber, all those things. One of the hot new documentaries that's out, or a series that's out on Netflix, is about the twin study, right? One is a vegetarian, one is on the omnivore diet, right? And so far, what they're saying is the twin that's on the vegetarian diet has better blood work. I agree, but what is kind of left out a little bit is that the differences in the diets are not the same. So, in the vegetarian diet, it's easier to get fiber and it's easier to lower your saturated fat profile, which is going to lead to what? Low cholesterol and better health outcomes overall. Vegetables, we all need to be eating a plant-based diet. I just happen to like steak, so my plant-based diet has a little bit of steak in there as well. But we all should be eating more fruits and vegetables. They're higher in volume. They take up more room in your stomach, right? Again, going back to donuts. How easy is it to eat 6 donuts?
Easy.
Super easy, right? If you get them Krispy Kreme donuts right out the oven, don't they? But how many of you can eat 6 apples back to back to back to back? Just, you ain't feeling too good after you do that, are you? So there's the difference. 6 donuts, super easy to do. You get to apple number 2, you just like, all right, I've had enough. All right? That's 1,200 calories for the 6 donuts that didn't give us any satiety or fullness, didn't give us any vitamins, no minerals. And we're still hunting for a little bit more. I give you 2 apples, that's 250 calories combined, you're full. You see the difference in calories right there? That's 1,000 right there off top. Gone. So fruits and vegetables, every meal, every time that you want to eat something, you get a little hankering for something, add a vegetable, add a fruit to that. Eat a complex carb at your meals. I'm not one of those folks that believe that carbs are bad. If anybody tells you carbs are bad, I'm not going to call them a lie. I'm just going to say they're misinformed. But they're lying to you. Carbs are good. The easiest way our body makes energy is through carbs, right? So we need them. But the issue is we like them Starbucks carbs. We like them donut carbs. We don't do the oatmeal carbs too much. We don't like that good hearty bread carbs as much. We don't like, I gotta do some brown rice. We don't like that as much as we like some of those other things, do we? So we need to eat a complex carb with our meals as well. Because what we're going to do and what we're aiming for all of those food molecules to come together to fill us up for a long period of time. You eat a good amount of protein, you eat some fiber, you eat some good carbs to go along with that, or you're going to be hungry 30 minutes from now. No, you won't. And this is a very traditional diet, or not diet, but meal for a meat eater. But after you eat 6 ounces of steak, a baked potato, and some broccoli, are you hungry? You're not. You're not. You can go hours without eating. But if you take one of those elements away, an hour later you go hunting. We have to make sure our food combinations are on point. If they are not, you are going to be hungry sooner rather than later. Does that make sense? That makes sense? All right, next. Drink some water, folks, as I get mine out. Yeah, everybody take a swig right now. Drink water. Start thinking about how many calories. So my job, a lot of people think my job is incredibly difficult. And man, how do you do all those diet audits? I've done thousands of diet audits. I've talked to people and counseled them on exercise and on diet for years. And what I have found over time, it's not the big things that trip us up. It's a lot of the small things. 8-ounce glass orange juice for breakfast, 120 calories. And we normally aren't stopping at one glass because orange juice tastes really good. I mean, it may make some really good juice, right? So, but let's keep it easy. 1 cup, 8 ounces, which we don't pour anyway, but 120 calories. On the way to work, or a little bit of time after we get to work, we need a little pick-me-up, a little latte action. Anywhere from 400 to 800 calories. If you start looking at some of those drinks at Starbucks and things along those lines. All right? So what are we up to? We're up to anywhere from 500 to 1,000 calories just in liquids. Oh, for lunch, let's go out to eat. Let's go out to this restaurant. All right? Oh, I'd like a Sprite. Sprite's my favorite soda. I love it. The fizzier the better. I love a bold Sprite. It's just crisp. All right? So I order a Sprite. They bring me a small cup, right? They bring me one of these, or they bring me one of these. And while I'm talking to somebody, they refilling that bad boy as soon as I get halfway done. So if we know that 8 ounces or 12 ounces of Sprite is 120 calories, we can triple that up for lunch, can't we? So we're at 300-400 calories for lunch, just in liquids. So right now we are over about 1,500 calories just in liquids, and we haven't even hit our evening glass of wine. Somebody's hands is going to swoop real down. As soon as I said it, our glass of wine, which, come on folks, a glass of wine is supposed to be how many ounces?
6 ounces.
Is it a serving of wine? What is that? A real glass, how many ounces is it?
The big pour is a 9.
That's a big pour. What's a for real? What's a real serve? 3 ounces. 3 ounces.
Yeah.
3 ounces. It ain't that much. But the wine glasses keep on getting refilled. Right? A lager or an IPA for each of those. You're looking at 120, 200, depending on how thick and how hefty it is. So, over the course of the day, some of us could be drinking 2,000 calories. Drinking. You got no nutritional benefit from those things. So if you just drink more water, you've heard the success stories. Well, how did you lose your 50 pounds, Karen? I stopped drinking soda and I lost 30 pounds this month. The math tracks. If we drink more water and less things that have calories in them, we're going to, by default, lessen our caloric load over the course of the day. That does not mean You can't drink some stuff. But going from 1,500 to 2,000 calories a day of drinking down to, say, maybe 500, I think that's a pretty daggone good thing. Any questions on that? Any questions? Makes sense, right? Practical, right? All right. Next thing we got. I don't like this thing. Recovery and rest. How many of you all are getting 6 to 8, 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night? Oh, good. We ain't got to spend that much time on this topic then. Rest and recovery are important. I could make the argument that this needs to be over here, that this needs to be first. Because how we recover and how we rest can dictate our nutrition, right? If we don't sleep properly, your appetite in suppressing hormone goes down. You find those nights that you don't get enough sleep and you're always up hunting for something in your kitchen. It's because your body needs something. And the funny thing about it is, when you go hunting for something, it's never for fruits and vegetables. Never. I've never sat at my couch, never been like, man, you know what would be really good at 11:30? Man, some grapes. Yeah, that's what's going to hit the spot right there. Never done that. We want what? We want ice cream. We want chips. We want crackers. We want simple carbs that our body can use for energy. Because what our body is telling us is, all right, dum-dum, you're not going to bed. I got to give you some energy somehow. So you eat some of those things, crackers, chips, ice cream. You get a quick hit of energy. You can stay up a little bit, and then 30 minutes later, crash, and guess what you need? You need more. You get that? All right, just a little bit longer. This game's going to be over just in a little bit. Then you go grab some more. Because the game went in overtime, you got to stay up and watch it. Right? So, our sleep can do that. There was a study up in the University of Chicago. Look this up if you want to later on. They practice sleep hygiene. They have folks come in. They were averaging about 6 hours, a little over 6 hours of sleep. And through sleep hygiene and counseling and things along those lines, they got the majority of them up to about 7, 8 hours of sleep. They only counseled them on going to bed and on how to set their bodies up for sleeping. By default, they ate 500 less calories per day. They did not coach them on diet. They did not tell them what they need to eat. They only focused on sleep and sleep hygiene. Some even had more success when it came to that. How we rest, how we recover plays a big deal. Always in pain? What does your body do when it sleeps? It repairs itself. You did a crazy hard spin class or you ran a couple of miles, but you only got 3 hours of sleep. No wonder your knees are aching the next day. No wonder our body just feels off, because we expect our bodies to do the most while we give it the least. So if you're going to do these things, if you're going to exercise that high, and this is real important for some folks that are starting this exercise stuff now, your body is very resilient. It will allow you to treat it like crap for a long time. But there is a breaking point. Headaches. Joint pain that doesn't seem to just quite go. And again, that could also be a medical situation. So that's why we have primary care doctors and specialists. So don't just say, well, I'm just going to sleep it away. No. I would have to see why I ate myself up here too. All right? But for a lot of us, if you slept properly, you'd feel better. Forgetting things a little bit more often, having some type of brain fog, a little more often, we put the puzzles together while we're sleeping. That whole thing back in the day of, let me sleep on it. That's where it comes. Our memories come together. So if you don't have a good week or 2 weeks or a couple of months of good sleep, you just can't seem to remember certain things. When did you give your body and brain time to put all that stuff back together? You didn't. You didn't. Now, I have a superpower. I can fall asleep anywhere. I love it. My wife hates me. We'll be in the bed, and she's struggling, and we're in the middle of the conversation, and all of a sudden, hey, you up? And I'm like, oh, because I can fall asleep just like that. I don't have sleep problems. My wife has narcolepsy. She has to have sleep hygiene. She has to prepare her brain and body for sleep. She has to get it from 10. My wife's an elementary school principal, so you know how stressful her job is. So she has to prepare her mind to come down, because we can't have our mind up here and then go right to sleep. At least most of us cannot. We have to prepare. Don't watch the news before bed. You're hurting yourself. Get off of social media before you go to bed. You're hurting yourself. Read a book. Journal. Listen to some music. Do a little bit of stretching, some relaxation, some things to ease your body down. And you'll find that your sleep is restful. My daughter has ADHD. We're not doing medication right now. Her pediatrician has advised us that we don't need to do that right now. I cannot tell her just to go to bed, because she's going to get up all throughout the night. I have a jazz playlist that we play. We read. We cut down just a little bit. My son is upset because he's like, Dad, one more. Go to your room then. But when we do that, she goes to sleep, and she sleeps all night. If I'm not on my A game, Daddy, I can't sleep. All right, come on. Sit on the couch. Let's read. And then she goes to bed. We have to prepare our bodies for bed. 30 or 45 minutes, maybe even almost an hour to prepare. So if your bedtime, actually have a bedtime. Some of you, actually have a bedtime. That show on Netflix is going to be there tomorrow. You paid for it already. It's going to be there. Oh, I just got to get through this season tonight. Why? You can do it tomorrow. Shut it down. Shut it down and prepare your body and brain for sleep. Does that make sense? Any questions on it? Go ahead.
Meditation is an awesome way.
It is. It's an awesome thing. It's an awesome thing. But again, you have to, now that doesn't mean like, all right, Brandon said prepare myself for sleep. All right, all of a sudden tonight, I'm going to start getting great sleep. Slow your roll. It's going to take some time, because our bodies have to get accustomed to what we're doing, right? Do it for a couple of weeks, for a couple of months. I don't make very many guarantees, but if you practice your sleep hygiene and you do not have an actual medical problem, your sleep will be more restful once you start preparing your body for sleep. Sharon, I'm sorry, I call it short stuff for obvious reasons. So we have a training group that we've been meeting together for about 10 years now, and I beat them up a lot. And so they started, one day I did this thing where I was like, all right, guys, I know it's been a crazy quarter. We're going to do what's called benevolent branding. We're going to do benevolent branding. We're going to stretch. We're going to relax. I'm going to find us a nice soothing playlist. We're going to have a dark room. It's later in the evening, so it's fine in one of the classrooms. One of the people that's in there actually brings like the eye covers, and we get down with it, right? And so we did it. There's been a lot of stuff going on in her life. And so we did the benevolent branding. We stretched. We did about 30, 45 minutes of just hanging out. Just silence, just relaxing. And she'd been having a tough time going to sleep. And so she texted me the next day and was like, I slept all night. All night. We started that preparation process hours before she went to bed. Her body was, once she hit the inside of her door, I'm sure she was like making a beeline right to that bed because she had already been prepared and ready for bed. Do it. And your nutrition may get a little bit better. So again, I can make the argument that this needs to go flip-flop, but I won't today because nutrition for most of us tends to be the bugaboo. But recovery and rest. Next. Finally. You might have thought I was going to come up with this stuff earlier, right? I was going to talk about exercise early. It's important, which is why it's here. But if your nutrition not right, is your workout going to be right? I guarantee you it's not. If your rest and recovery is not right, is your exercise going to be right? No. That 1,000 calories you thought you burned in spin class, because you didn't sleep properly, you probably chopped that in half because your power output's not the same. So we can't push as much while we exercise if our sleep is not proper. So all of these things build to make this the icing on the cake. Again, we cannot out-train a bad diet, can we? Or a poor diet. Let me not say bad, because bad adds morality to a diet, and diets aren't moral or not, I don't believe, right? So a poor diet or a high-calorie diet, you cannot out-train it, which is why you get these two together. This is just adding in. How many times a week we got to be looking at?
3.
Minimum. Somebody said 3. That's your minimum, folks. 3. We live a sedentary life. We live in a culture that makes it easy for us to be sedentary. I can go make a clickless order right now. Somebody gonna pick my groceries up. They're gonna put it in my car, and all I gotta do is drive it home and take it from the car to the kitchen and put it up. I can order my food. I didn't have to step outside the home. Just get on DoorDash, right? We have become a more sedentary culture in society. A lot of folks will go overseas and they'll say, oh my gosh, I ate whatever I wanted, and I've been over to Europe and I ate whatever I wanted and I lost 10 or 15 pounds. The food over there must be better. I mean, maybe, but you moved more while you were in Europe because ain't nobody driving cars as much as we drive. They're riding bikes. They're walking up and down steps. They're walking up and down hills. All of a sudden, you go on your vacation to the beach, and you're like, oh, my gosh, I thought I was going to gain, but I lost. Oh, because you did an excursion, and you're actually moving that whole week, versus when you're here, you're not. All of that plays a part in this equation. A minimum 3 days a week. And strength training has to be a part of that as well. Who's strength training in here? Who's hitting the weights? That ain't enough hands. That ain't enough hands. Why is strength training important? We know about cardio, right? I don't have to talk about cardio and heart health and pulmonary health or anything like that, right? Why is strength training important?
More muscle,
More muscle, and more muscle does what?
burns fat.
It burns fat. But and more importantly, what else does muscle do?
It's good for your bones.
It's good for your bones. You want to go from osteoporosis to osteopenia or osteopenia down to regular levels? Hit the weights. You want to reduce your risk of falls? Hit the weights. A lot of times we're falling not because when you get some ones that are older that may not have hit weights and their diet is not where it should be. They're not falling and breaking their hip. They're breaking their hip and falling, right? Because what is supporting? What supports our hip? Muscle. And if you ain't got it, you ain't got it, right? After the age of 35, 40 years, we lose 5 to 10% of our muscle mass each decade. That rate doubles after 65. If you don't hit the weights, you're going to hit the floor. Sorry, it is what them's the rules. You want to get down and play with your grandkids? Hit the weights. You want to be able to get down on the floor, get up off the floor. You want to be able to ease down into that squat a little bit instead of like a, You got to hit the weights. Cardio ain't going to do it. Walking is amazing. Treadmill is amazing. Elliptical is amazing. Rolling is amazing. But it's not going to build that heft to support our bodies. We need to be strength training at least twice a week. Minimum. Some would say up to 4 days a week. I could make an argument every day, but I'll say for most folks, a couple days a week is going to be fine. Yes, ma'am.
Should we do it every day?
Do strength training every day? Well, so for most folks, there you go. So for most folks, you look at it every other day type deal. For most folks, they do a total body type program where you're hitting, your legs, your arms, your back, this, that, and the other. You're hitting that on a Monday, maybe doing the same thing on a Wednesday, doing the same thing on a Friday. That's perfectly fine to have those rest days in there. But there's some individuals that work on a split type workout. For that is okay. On Monday, I'm going to do more pushing exercises. On Tuesday, I'm going to do more pulling. On Wednesday, I may do some. So depending on how you structure it, you can lift weights every day. But for most folks, you're looking at 2 to 3 days out the week is perfectly fine. 2 to 3 days a week, perfectly fine. And if your nutrition's not right, if you're not eating enough protein, are you going to get stronger when you hit the weights? Not even probably not. You won't. Seriously, go and hit the weights. You're like, man, why are these same weights still hard? Why is this still hurting me? And I've been doing this for 2 months. Why am I still crazy sore after this? All that plays.
You said 2 or 3 times a week for strength.
Yes, ma'am.
What about for cardio? Is that part of the same, or should you do 2 or 3 for each?
No, I mean, if you have the time to, you're more than welcome to do that. But for most of us, time is of the essence, right? So I like to combine them. We're not talking about huge amounts of time here, folks. We're talking 30 minutes of cardio, 30 minutes of strength training, you're done in an hour. We can keep it short and sweet. I've got very effective workouts that I've done in 15, 20 minutes for strength training that have been great. We're not talking about going crazy for 2 hours to do both of them. 30, 40 minutes for one, 30, 40 minutes for the other, boom, you're done. Does that make sense? Go ahead.
Silly question. You had me one time walk on the track, or told me to, because I was wanting to do some cardio. And you said, get some 5-pound weights and carry those. Can you get a twofer? I mean, can you call that exercise or cardio and strength?
I would not.
No?
I would not. And the reason I would not, so our body is amazing at adapting, correct? It's amazing. It's a fearfully and wonderfully made body. So if you're walking, you're getting something, but right, we need a little extra. And so carrying some resistance can help get the heart rate up a little bit more. Correct. So one big thing that's really popular now on social media is something called rucking. There are some folks that will wear a backpack with weights inside and they'll just go walking with it. I've seen a couple of members here, they'll do it while they're on a Stairmaster, while they're on a treadmill, and that because again, our body is resilient, and so if you're always walking at our body weight, and of course we want to go less in the weight, don't we? So over time, walking is going to get easier. And rucking or wearing, I have a 40-pound weighted vest that I will use at home sometimes for that. And so it's adding a little extra resistance so our heart has to work a little bit harder. We can get some more of those cardio benefits. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Answer the question. Anything else? No? Good. Man, we've covered everything, but there's one thing up there that we have to do. Hey, listen. the way to my heart. You give me some donuts. I got some clients who bring me some, they still read the paper, they bring me some coupons for the buy one, get one free dozen. Hey, have y'all seen the price of Krispy Kreme donuts lately? Hey, I went up there and I had to leave. They wanted $15, $16 for a dozen. I said, when did that happen? For a dozen. So some people bring in some coupons for me. It's the, one dozen for $8.99. And of course I can't pass up a good deal like that. And I try.
You donuts on Tuesday and Thursday, you're going to be nice.
I might be. I might share with the kids. I might. So at the very top of the pyramid, everything else. Everything else. Don't talk to me about protein timing. There's so many things that people look at, so many videos on Instagram, on Facebook. Well, you need to eat 20 minutes right after your workout, or you won't get the metabolic benefits, or you won't build the muscle. Well, if you don't do it at this particular time, you won't get the this. And if you don't wear these type of shoes, you won't get the that. And if you don't wear this type of shirt, you won't get this. And I'm like, if you ain't doing these three things, it ain't gonna matter. Why? Don't come and tell me, well, Brandon, do I need to eat protein right after a workout? I would have said it's good, but what's important is for your nutrition to be on point for the rest of the day. That's the most important. Well, Brandon, should I be taking my turmeric and my glucosamine and chondroitin for my achy knees and for my joints? Are you sleeping? Let's get this stuff together first before we get up to this. Well, Brandon, I've been reading about these shoes and, man, should I really be getting these? Should I have that? Will you just take a step first? Take a step in what you got on first. Do something. You're going out there like, well, I'm trying to get my New Year resolution. I want the best of the best, and I want this and I want that. Those shoes going to be in your closet. Take a step first in the shoes that you have before you start worrying about everything else. Well, Brandon, should I do them? There's this new place that's opened up. They do this cryotherapy where they put me in this thing. It's sub-zero and all this type of stuff, and it's supposed to help with inflammation. I'm sure it's great, but sleep first. Get a good week's worth of sleep, and then let me know how you feel. Well, my doctor says I should be doing, your KT tape and the cupping where they put the cups on you to get the circulation and everything like that. Have you stretched? Have you done anything? So we so want that flashy stuff. And I just like, I got 2 kids I got to send to college. If y'all want to send some money, if y'all want to spend some money, I got an account that y'all can funnel it to. All right? I can give you a routing number for my kids' college fund. And if y'all going to spend $500 on this, $200 on this, a subscription to this, a subscription to that, a subscription to all these things, I'm a worthy card right here. I got a 10 and a 6-year-old. Let me get them in the college. But we worry so much about this and forget so much about this. It's not flashy. It's not sexy. It's not going to get you a lot of likes on social media. But if you have your phone, look up 1% better. Google 1% better every day. A great book that I read about a year or so ago. It's called Atomic Habits, James Clear. And he had a thing on there, 1% better every day. And then go to your images. It should be the first image that pops up. The power of tiny gains. What if you were 1% better every single day? What if you ate one more piece of fruit every day? What if you walked 5 extra minutes every week? The power of tiny gains. When it comes to our minds, When you try to do too many changes at one time, our brain short circuits. If we start doing, okay, my New Year's resolution, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to meet with the trainer, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and the next thing you know, it becomes overwhelming and you quit. That's just how it is. I've seen it happen in real time. There are certain sessions that I have with clients, we don't even work out. We sit in the cafe and I'm just like, hey, yo, man, we got to clear your head. You're not right in the head right now. We got to get you together because you're asking for too much stuff right now. Yeah, you got too much going on up here. Take most of that away. Let's focus this week. We're going to focus on just one thing. This week, I'm going to focus on you eating fruit. Not fruits and vegetables, just fruit. This week, we're going to focus on you getting cardio in 3 days out the week. Well, what about my strength training? You're obviously not doing that, and you're not doing the cardio. Let's focus on one. It's got to be that way. Because when we do too many things at one time, our brain short circuits. You want to ease. Our brains are resistant to change. That's how we are. We get stuck in a rut. We want to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Anything that challenges that. So what we work on in here, if I can change you slow enough, if I can change you slow, it's a difference in doing this. If you turn too far, if you turn too fast, what happens? You get dizzy. Whoa. But if I turn you a little bit slower, you're still in your right mind. That's what we focus on. I want to change you. I want you to change so slow. Oh, shoot, so slow. I want you to change so slow that next thing you know, you just doing things just by the habit. You change so slow that next thing you know, you're looking at the restaurant menus before you go and your trainer didn't even tell you to do it. You're meal prepping on Sundays for the whole week and nobody told you to. Your body is already, oh man, it's only 9 o'clock. I want you to change so slow that that's what happens. Anybody, no disrespect, anybody, for the most part, can lose 20, 30 pounds. How do I know that? So I guarantee you everybody in this room been done it at least once. You did it once already. I know you can do it, but what's the major key to that? What you gonna do to keep them friends away? Yeah, I can put you on a fast for a week and you'll lose 15 pounds. I can tell you to go eat cabbage soup for a month and you might drop 30. You don't hate me, but you'll do it. But then you're gonna get off of that diet, gain the weight back, and bring a couple of its friends with you. Let's change slow. Let's buck the trend. You see these great, I'm all for transformations. I love them. I love seeing people that have made great transformations in 8 weeks and 12 weeks. Holler at me when it's been a year or two. When it's been a year, let me know what's happened. Some of y'all have made changes so slow that you didn't think you were making changes. You put on some clothes that you're like, man, I might just throw on this shirt in the back of the closet. Oh shoot, this thing fits. Change that slow. Make it sustainable. Make it something that you can do from here on out. Doesn't mean you're going to be perfect, because none of us are. I'm not even calling mistakes again. That's assigning morality to diets. I splurge. If there was a box of, if Mel was like, you know, Brandon, thank you for doing this. I got you a box of donuts right over there. I'm going to have one. Hey, me chill over there. I want to eat those. I do not want you all to become perfect eating robots. Food tastes too good. But what I do want you to do is change your mindset on how we do this thing. Don't focus on the quick change. Slow it down. little by little, brick by brick, and the next thing you know, you done got a house made. The power of tiny gains over the course of you. Look at that curve. Ain't that crazy? Look at it. That could be you in December. And instead of getting ready for a New Year resolution next January, all you're doing is deciding how many stories you want to build on the house you built this year. Well, I want to renovate the bathroom a little bit. That's what I want to do. I might want to do a triple crown next year. Oh, you know what? I want to finish my basement. You're not trying to build a house next year. You're renovating. Does that make sense? Any questions before I let you all go? I went a little bit past my time. Well, if that ain't, I almost got away. So it's always you.
I hear about clean protein powders and not clean, like women shouldn't have soy. I don't know which protein powders go for.
So why would they say women shouldn't have the soy? Because of breast cancer and things along those lines? I'm going to tread lightly on that one, mainly because I'm not a doctor. And so if those are concerns, if those are family history concerns, then you may want to steer clear of some of those. But there are a literal 1,000 types. And whey protein, for most people, is going to be just fine. And so it does not generally have soy in there. And there's actually some solid literature. If you want to look at soy and breast cancer and soy and types of cancer, they have found that some literature suggests that higher amounts of soy in your diet can actually make your body a little more resilient. Our thought processes on soy are a little different now versus back in the day, but that's not my platform today. We can talk about that another time. But whey protein would be solid for you. So you may want to stay away from some of your vegetarian and vegan because most of them are going to have the soys and things along those lines. So like a whey protein would be fine. I love Optimum Nutrition. They make a great protein powder. It tastes great. It's 120 calories of protein 120 calories per scoop and 24 grams of protein. It's a really solid, and it mixes pretty well as well.
Okay, thank you.
Very welcome. Anybody else? Dang it. Who was first? Who went first?
So I got here late. So what is the 6-week challenge? Like, what are we doing?
That's a her question. We're going to get to that in a second. you don't see her. That was easy.
Where do you get that whey protein, that Optimum Nutrition?
Costco sells it in a 5-pound bag right now. Last time I was in Costco, it was $63. Sometimes they have it on sale, man. One time I bought a year's supply because it was like $30. And I was like, I'm buying this whole year's. And I bought some for a couple of clients and everything like that because it's a really solid bag. You get it on Amazon as well. But yeah, if you want to be close, Costco sells it. And if you look it up online, it's well reviewed by pretty much everybody. Any other questions before I let you all go?
So how concerned should we be with counting calories?
Why are you going to do this to me at the very end? Now, I'm going to read a lot of that, and I'm going to make that a 30-second question. We know that the math is calories in versus calories out, right? The math is the math. But there's some nuance to it. But if you follow those rules that we talked about earlier, more than likely your calorie count's going to be lower anyway. And so you can count calories to kind of see like where you trend. I personally don't count calories and haven't in years because I know what I'm eating. And so you can to kind of get a reference point of like, oh shoot, I'm actually eating 3,000. I thought I was only eating, and that's a cool revelation. But long term, it's not something you necessarily have to do. See, I resolved that one pretty easily. Any other questions? All right, thank y'all for having me.
Monday morning, so you can weigh in anytime next week. Everything will be set up out in the lobby. If you want to track your exercise or Google form, they'll email it out Monday morning.
Will you be out there the whole time?
Oh, no, but fitness staff is always here, so they'll weigh you in. They answer your questions.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm glad to.